Chris Hassinger, Medina Boys Basketball. It's my 29th year of coaching basketball in Medina. Very blessed and excited about this season. Got a great group of guys coming this year, and we're excited even though we lost our first game against St. Ed's, one of the best teams in Northeast Ohio and probably the States. We're still really optimistic about our outlook on this season and what's going to happen this season. So we're really excited about the year to come.
Talk about the seniors you have this season.
Yeah, we've got the George Jetson theme in the background. It's our bell schedule here. We've got 5 really good kids that are seniors this year. First one's Carlos Corchado. He is a kid that played football, had a great football season, and still trying to catch up, but has the ability to guard people because he's so athletic, and shoots a 3 decent, but once he shakes the rust off, we're hoping he can come out and help us a little bit more. Jalen Payne, our 6'5", 6'6" post, has worked really hard this year. You're going to see him because he's physical and tough. He's a kid that's learned to be a lot more resilient this year because he's a pretty fragile kid in the past. But the tough thing for him is he's going to have to learn how to guard on the perimeter because of all the teams we play and the style of play now. It's harder for a big kid to guard, and as everyone knows, defensively that's how we go in Medina. So Jalen, you'll see his improvement as the season goes on, but just been a great role player for us in the first game. You got Luke Klanick, Carter Hipp, Hunter Smith. Those 3 I kind of link together because they're all guards in kind of the same position. Just 3 really good leaders, 3 really good basketball players that are going to go on and play in college for sure. They all have a lot of interest right now from other schools, but all 3 of them can shoot the basketball. Carter's probably our best ball handler out of the 3. Luke's our best slasher, and I'd say Hunter's our best shooter out of that group. So they kind of all bring something special, but very well-rounded, very talented kids. So we've got a great core to lead our program this year, and sometimes you try to get one leader. This year we got multiple kids that can lead.
What is going to make this team exciting to watch this year?
Well, they're unselfish, number one. We don't have one great player. We have a lot of really good players, and I think people are going to enjoy that, how we share the ball. You watch NBA basketball, and there's a lot of selfish people out there and a lot of selfish players, and especially the older generation gets mad about it. My dad used to get mad about it all the time last year, watching kids go one-on-one, and that's not how we play. Second thing is we play very fast, and we're going to score some baskets this year, and that's always exciting for people to watch. We'll still have some people yell, stop taking threes, and we laugh about that at times, but we're going to be very fast-paced. And I think the other thing is our toughness. We spent the last 9 years trying to change the culture, a little bit of toughness. We've always had really good basketball, but we've lacked that mental and physical toughness that it takes to get you past the next level into the tournament. And so we kind of got the whole package. If we can make some things come together and have a little luck this season, I think we're going to be exciting to watch.
Medina seems to always schedule the best. Why?
Well, you only get better by getting beat up a little bit. People that win and have a lot of success in life, I don't know how they learn lessons. I know there's been a lot of things that have gone wrong for me in life, and every time I've come out stronger or better, or I try to at least, and that's kind of a philosophy in the Hassinger family is you got to get beat up a little bit to learn how to grow and what direction you want to go. I take the first game we played St. Ed's, who's really, really good, much bigger, much stronger than us, and we were up 10 on them at half, and we ended up losing the game, made a few mistakes in the third and fourth quarter, but I told the boys, I said, if that's a good team or average team, we win by 15. And then we're not searching as much of, okay, let's hyper-focus on what we need to do to get better. And I'm a big person on winning in the tournament, and our record kind of shows that. We've had 4 district championships in the last 8 years, which is kind of unheard of a school that doesn't get any move-ins. And so we feel like that schedule really prepares us and gets us ready. You know, we went and watched, I think, 3 or 4 teams last night as coaches, and we're looking at the teams in our league this year saying we are going to have a mess this year of the teams we're going to have to play. So we're going to have to fight every night, but it'll get us ready, hopefully.
You have several underclassmen. Can you talk about them?
Yeah, let's start with the sophomores. We got 2 sophomores on varsity right now, and one's my son Luke Hassinger, who's a point guard, and he's our backup for Carter. Got great potential, but played a lot of freshman basketball last year, and he's going to have to learn how the game is physical, and he's got to play through some adversity. He didn't have a ton of adversity in the first game, but that's not how it's going to work on Friday night when we play Medina and some of these other teams. So then the other one is Kellen Johnson. He's a 6'4" kid with a 6'7" wingspan, which is very appetizing to colleges because they really recruit wingspan now. And he's going to give people problems as he gets older because he's so athletic. He's got to get a little bit more skilled in shooting the basketball and handling the ball, but he's got a chance to be really good for us. And he's got to come out of his shell a little bit because when he's tough and nasty, he's pretty good. Our juniors, we got 2 guys that played football that had a fantastic year. Nathan Angus was a wide receiver for the football team, and he's one of those other kids like Carlos that are just a little bit rusty right now. They're gonna have a lot of catching up because they went so far in the playoffs. And the other one's Jack Wojak, and Jack had a phenomenal season. I think he was one of the best football players around this area. And so those guys have been doing a good job of just staying mentally in there because it's tough when you're probably not going to get much time to be mentally engaged in practice, and those guys have been. So we're looking forward to seeing what they can do over the next month. We got a kid by the name of JT Mogg, and he's not very imposing when you look at him, and people are he's very unassuming, and we put him in the game and he can just shoot the lights out. I think he's one of the best shooters in Ohio. He just heats up fast. We would call him the microwave sometimes because you get him in the game and he's hot quick. So we'll look for him to score for us at times this year. We got Benny Myers, another kid that's kind of small but super athletic, can shoot the lights out, can push the ball in transition, can really make problems for people when we put him up on the ball and pressure. And he's like that gnat or a mosquito at a fire that you just keep trying to smack and get. Oh, I got him, and then all of a sudden it bites you again, and it bites you again, and before you know it, Ben's got 10, 11 points, and he's stolen the ball 3 or 4 times, but he's fun to watch. We got Brock Beach. He had an older brother that played for us last year, graduated, and that family is just on fire for basketball. He really is one of our elite shooters. He's kind of got the green light to shoot it whenever he wants, but he's going to have a good year for us. He's got to get a little stronger, a little bit quicker. Defensively, we're going to expect more out of him, but he's a really nice piece, and right now he's starting for us. We got Connor Smith as well. Connor's a 6'5" wing guy, which most teams don't have those guys. Those guys are posts for other programs. And Connor is just getting tougher every day. I walked up to him in the hallway today and put my head on his shoulder. I said, "You gonna be tough tonight, you big sissy?" Like, we joke with him, and he's kind of got a quiet personality, but man, when he plays well, he led us in rebounding at Eds, and he's got a chance to be really good because he can step out and shoot the 3 as well.
So what are your expectations for this year?
Our expectations every year is we don't, it sounds weird. I'm the most competitive person in the world. I don't want to lose ever, but we don't measure success on wins and losses. We really don't. If you play terrible and you win by 20, you're going to get it from me. It's about excellence. And we want to strive for excellence, even though we know we'll never get there. We want to try to be perfect, but we know we'll never get there. But our goal is to get back to the regionals again. We came up short last year, and we feel like if we can get to the regional level, which takes some luck, takes some lineup of who you play, and there's other things involved in just being a good basketball team. But if we get to that level, anything could happen this year because we got a really deep team with a lot of good basketball kids. We've never had so many basketball first kids in my 29 years. I mean, we've always had multiple sport athletes, and for some reason, these kids really work on their game. They put in a lot of individual time, and it's going to pay off, I think, down the stretch. So expectations, we want to compete every night, and we want to be in every game when it comes down to the last few possessions, and if we have success, we do, and we win it, and we'll celebrate and eat pizza, but if we don't, we'll get better from it.
Who is your rival?
Our rival. Well, you have Menor. Menor's become a rival because it's funny when you can't beat a team very often, you tend not to like them. And not because if they're any different than the kids that are going through your hallways here or their coach is really any different because, believe it or not, a lot of our fans don't like Coach K. He's one of my best coaching friends that I have, and he whips my butt more than I whip his. So they're a rival because they beat us in some pretty big games. They beat us in the tournament back-to-back years. One was to go to state, and one was for the game right before state. So, but our biggest rival is Brunswick. I mean, they're 10 minutes down the road, and we'd won 7 in a row against them, and we became a little complacent. And last year we lost twice, and our kids are seething about that, and I like it because you should want to beat the team next to you. To me, it's like a Michigan, Ohio State, and I'm tired of it not being that way. With AAU, kids all become friends, and I always tell the kids, hey, my dad and I we loved each other, but when we play one-on-one in the backyard, we had a hill next to it. You get pushed down the hill when it was for a loose ball, and that's my dad, who I love more than probably anybody. So, that competitiveness has to come back this year, and we're gonna be ready for Brunswick this year. They're really good too, so it should be a great rivalry game.
Okay. What about other teams in the conference?
Well, our conference is loaded. I went and watched Strongsville last year, and they got a newer coach there, Kevin Sapar, and he's just done a fantastic job. I mean, they looked really, really good. They look like similar to us because they like to push it in transition. They got a lot of really good players and good shooters, and they got a really good guy running the show for them who's been a 4-year varsity player. So they're going to be really good. Euclid, you never know because that's such a transient area up there. They could get 4 or 5 kids. You don't know who you're playing in from year to year. And I know they have a newer coach that was at a really good school up that way. So I mean, he's going to definitely know what he's doing. Solon, Tony's probably one of the best coaches in this area. I mean, he calls out every set you run. He knows everything you're going to do. I watched them play the other day, and they've got 5 kids, maybe 8 kids that can shoot the 3. They press, and they're miserable to play. And then you got Brunswick, obviously, who's very good, and either one of us could be terrible that year, and it's going to be a good game just because it's a rivalry. Mm-hmm. And Joe's probably the winningest coach in Medina County right now. So, I mean, he's a really good coach and has built a really fantastic program. And then Menor's just the cream of the crop. I mean, they're probably the favorite. They've gotten 4 kids to come in and help their program, and I think they got maybe 2 more kids from some other place, another country. I heard the other day. So you get 4 to 6 new kids in the last 2 years. That's helpful, and on top of being one of the elite programs. So I would say they're the favorites in the league. But you know what? I never bet against the Bees.
Your coach's support system. I'm not
sure. Yeah. So we have a really good staff.
Yeah.
My freshman coach was my assistant, and you don't get that very often. A lot of times at the freshman level, you get guys that are starting out, maybe guys that don't know a lot about basketball. You got to teach them. But I mean, Carl Walter, I just give him the freshman. He runs like a varsity program, and I tease him all the time because he's too tough on the kids. But they're always ready for me. At the JV level, we moved Ryan Heath up. I can't remember if it was last year or year before, and he's just a guy that loves to watch film. He's a little bit quieter guy, a little more subdued coach, but he watches a lot of film now for me, and he's able to send me text messages or stop down in between classes and tell me what's going on and see maybe some things that I don't see. Bill Geschke, he has been such an asset. His 3 boys played in our system, 2 of them played for me, and Bill's my guy I take to colleges, and we get all these offensive drills and shooting drills, and then Bill's my shooting guy. I mean, he just nonstop bringing new drills to us to keep things energetic and fun and different in practice. And then he's our rah-rah guy. I mean, he's not afraid to rip kids, but he's the guy that's bringing in food for the kids that don't have something to eat, or giving somebody a gift card that their family doesn't have food at Christmas, and just a giving, loving guy. And lastly is JT Sturm. I mean, JT I had in 6th grade when I first started teaching. That shows you how old I am. But he played for me. He was part of the 2000 team that went to the regionals, and he could be a head coach. I mean, JT's sometimes better than me at coaching, and he probably needs to be the head coach when I'm all said and done. But he's just so knowledgeable. I mean, he knows every team in the county, in our league, you name it. JT breaks them down. There's times in practice I just give him the practice, and he goes with it, and he makes game plans, and he's just my right hand guy with all that stuff. So we're real fortunate to have such a great staff. Takes a lot of stress off me, and finally after 29 years I'm starting to give more because I used to do everything myself, and I make those guys work now.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just excited about this year. I mean, it's a lot of fun when you have kids that are invested and families invested. I mean, we're a weird program. I mean, I go hang out with parents sometimes in the crowd before games. I know a lot of coaches stay away from them, and I love my parents. I love that they don't agree sometimes, but we can sit and talk, and it's not violent or volatile. You know, we disagree, and it's a cool culture we've built here, and you know, from the kids and the work ethic and the time they put in the Funknasium and in our gym and the love they have for each other, it's special beyond just basketball. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks.